Hello and welcome to Focus and Action. I'm Shane Malach, and since this is the first post and first video I'm doing here, let me give you a quick idea of what this is all about. Why did I start this blog? The very short version is that this is a blog about building a better life and becoming a better version of yourself, becoming the best possible version of yourself, which might actually be even better than what you now think is possible. The slightly longer version of this is that when I was a child, my sense of self-worth and my confidence were brutally murdered, and luckily I managed to recover from that. I discovered martial arts, I started training martial arts, and that was the first experience I got of being good at something. I got kind of good at that. And it was the first experience that gave me this idea that if I, work on something, if I invest myself in something, and in some cases, if I become a bit obsessive about something, actually, I trained martial arts like crazy when I was young, but that this would actually lead to a good result, that I could get good at something, that I could actually change something about myself in a positive way. And out of that came the idea that I maybe could apply the same thing to other areas of my life. So I started asking myself, could I apply the same kind of idea to become more confident? Could I apply the same kind of idea to just become a better person, to work on aspects of my personality and to become happier, to become more fulfilled, to maybe change the story of my life from what I used to perceive it to be, which was just, I had this thing where I was just convinced that I was destined to be a failure and disappointment, that I was just horrible at everything. And I was just a big waste of space, right? I felt completely worthless. And so I asked myself if I could apply this same kind of idea of like training martial arts to get better at it. Could I somehow train aspects of myself and my life to, move away from this feeling of just constant disappointment and failure towards doing something that I'm actually good at and towards just feeling better about myself? And the answer is a very resounding yes in all cases. So I'm very happy to report that now, roughly 10 years later, my life exceeds my expectations in every possible way. What I mean is that in every aspect of my life, what I'm living now is better than anything I would have dreamt of or dared to wish for 10 years ago. I have completely eliminated these confidence issues that used to haunt me. I became an entrepreneur, and I'm currently working on my third successful business. I became kind of good at that as well, using the same principles I used for martial arts. And at this point, I'm comfortable leading a team of people. And not only am I doing work in my own company that I find very, very fulfilling, and I get to do things I'm good at and I like doing, I'm also providing good and meaningful work for other people at this point. I live a location-independent lifestyle, which means that I can and do live anywhere on the world that I want to. I can just move to wherever I want to, basically. I also have, and I have lots of perks like that, but really, I think the most important thing is that I'm happy now. Like the default state that I'm in is I'm just happy and content, and I'm grateful for what I get to do. I'm grateful for every day I have. When I remember quite clearly how I used to feel just depressed and sad, my default state used to be that I just felt kind of horrible, like everything just felt dark and gloomy and depressing in my life. And that's completely switched around. I've managed to eliminate, all this self-sabotage stuff and like these negative inner voices. That's just all disappeared out of my life. And really the point is that the difference in quality of life that I've experienced is just massive. This transformation has been amazing for me. This blog is simply my attempt to give you some of that same experience that I've had. So I often see people struggling with the same issues that I used to struggle with. I see people struggling with this stuff where it just feels so familiar to me. I still know exactly what that feels like. And at the same time, I'm often, it's often amazing to myself even when I remember, hey, I used to be like that. I used to feel like that. And I'm just so completely different now. The transformation is so complete. And I just wish I could reach into my brain and just give you that, give you whatever made this difference for me to just fix that problem instantly, right? That would be amazing. I mean, and that's really why I started this site. To me, that's what I wish I could do. I wish I could just take this this experience that I've had and take these changes I've made to myself and just give them to anyone who wants to have them, and just like install them in your brain. Because like I said, the difference in the quality of life, the difference in just what it feels like to be me now compared to what it felt like to be me 10 years ago is amazing. And I wish I could give that to other people. Unfortunately, I can't reach into my brain and do that. So this site is my attempt to simply tell you about the things I tried, the strategies I applied to my life, so that you can do the same things and hopefully get the same results. And of course, the other thing is, it's not like I've just, reached the finish line and this is it, my life is perfect now. I'm constantly still working on my skills. I'm still working on building a better version of myself. I'm still working on building a better life for myself. And on this side is where I will report about the kind of experiments I do on myself and in my life and the kinds of results I get. So the bottom line is, quite simply, I want to completely change your life for the better. That's all. I hope you enjoy what you find here.